did you know that girl or whatever? He was like, oh wait, was she a great big fat person?
What's up?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chorizo Bros. We are doing a very special episode today. We unfortunately don't have Art with us. Kudos to you, Art, when you finally play this video and see what's going on. We actually have Brandon joining us today.
Let's go.
Very excited to go over this amazing book and movie, and we're going to do it in true Chorizo Bros fashion. We're going to have the expectation that you've seen the movie at least. And we're going to kind of go over if we liked it, if we didn't like it, and then we're just going to do spoiler heavy, just open conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Brandon first off. Give us a quick spoiler-free, did you like it, do you think people should watch it?
Spoiler-free. Definitely liked it. I would say one of the best horror movies. Doesn't have any monsters. Well, no, supernatural monsters, but definitely just has some crazy psychological thriller aspects.
Yeah.
They get really into the horror, and it is intense.
All right.
Well said, man. Honestly.
So thumbs up for sure?
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's actually for everybody. I'll say that it's definitely
not for everybody.
Probably in the top 15 movies of for me personally, but it's not a movie that I can watch over and over again within a short period of time. It's one of those movies where I watch once every year or two, because it's just like you said, it's just a psychological thrill, and it's intense. And for me, I can't keep watching it. I think other people will kind of agree that it's just a little bit too, not necessarily gory. I mean, there's some gore in there. I don't think people will be turned off too much of that, but just the way Anthony Hopkins portrays himself is
He's
really
real
creepy.
Yeah,
He's very,
Dude, yeah.
The creep factor's through the roof here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of social kind of struggles that some of the characters go through, and that's really kind of cringy, and that's why I don't think it's really for everybody. So yeah, but definitely a great movie. I think everybody should at least watch it.
I would definitely say, especially nowadays, there are some
the
issues,
trans
stuff
issues,
like sexualization of the workplace was startling. Her with her boss, the director or supervisor of the FBI of the case on Buffalo Bill. There's a lot of sexualization with that, and that carries over, I think, into the next, Red Dragon, where she's kind of
Well, so what did you what is your?
I pretty much agree with you guys on both things. Now, the point, we talked about this before, the point of a piece of art is that if it's trying to get a feeling from you, or is trying to make you feel a type of way, and it succeeds in that, then it's a good movie just based off of that. I think. I would recommend it to most everybody. I think even if you don't like horror movies, you should watch this just because of its cultural impact. Tell me that this stuff isn't referenced in just American culture in general. It's kind of like The Godfather. It's one of those things that everybody references, everybody knows, and just for that reason, I think people should watch it. Even if I wouldn't even call it. I would go so far as to say it's not really even a horror movie. I would call it a psychological thriller, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Into it.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
That's pretty much where I'm at on it. I think it's thumbs up all the way around. I think everybody should watch it. I did. We do always a themed thing on the show. You guys notice, anybody that's keeping up with it? We've got the book at the front. We've got a nice bottle of Chianti. We got some fava beans to really lean into the theme.
Yeah. I was surprised. I was kind of curious. I was like, I bet you Joseph is going to come up with some fava beans. I actually thought you were going to actually make some kind of
liver,
beans,
fava
You
beans.
need to be wearing all white with your hair slicked back.
I should wear a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
It would
Or
have
like
shocked
the
me.
intro's just gonna be me standing like this.
Yeah, a little bit of the Chianti just spilt over.
Yeah. So we're gonna enjoy. We're gonna enjoy a nice little taste of Chianti. And myself, I don't drink wine very much. Actually, it's kind of like one of the drinks I kind of like the least. I don't really care for wine that much. So this is gonna be a new thing for me. I've never had Chianti.
I've never had Chianti either. Is that even the right
I've
pronunciation?
had it once before,
I think-
but I can't say I had good Chianti.
I think in the movie he goes, "I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti," and it sounds very.
Oh, was he making fun of?
I don't know.
Clarice?
No. I think he actually says it. Well, he makes fun of her accent, like
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Constantly.
constantly. So we're gonna have a little bit of Chianti if you're watching at home. See if you can find some.
Is it a specialty wine or anything like
It's
that?
not. It's just it's
An
one of
Italian
the,
one.
it's a varietal that's not really it's not like Merlot or whatever that you're gonna find in most restaurants and stuff.
Sure.
America doesn't fuck with wine as much as like Europe, and Hannibal Lecter is very
I don't know if it is
choosy about the kind of wine. Cheers, guys.
that goes along with his meats.
Yeah.
Let's try this out, man. Trying to like channel my inner Anthony Hopkins here while I'm taking a sip.
I'm gonna eat some raw lamb.
It's actually good.
I like it.
It's really subtle. But I'm not a wine.
If you were to,
drinker, so-
dude, if you were to put that next to a Pinot Noir, I would not be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very light fruity.
Yeah.
That shows how much we know about wine.
Yeah.
So we're gonna enjoy that.
We're gonna enjoy it.
So one of the things that we do, and I kind of was talking to Jeremy before we started filming, and Brandon too. Not just the lack of art, but the fact that Brandon's here. We normally do really serious discussions about movies.
Wait. Did you say lack of art, like art?
The fact that Arturo is not here.
Okay, I thought you meant like art because you were talking about like actual like art.
No.
I was like, wait.
So kind of, it's an art-free event, and that sucks. Art is fantastic. We miss you.
Yes.
You're fucking.
Fuck you, art man.
Yeah, you're vacationing in Mexico, and I'm
But
over
Brandon,
here.
I'm glad you're here. Man.
Yeah, we're glad Brandon's filling in, bringing you energy. But kind of what I was telling Jeremy is that we kind of want to do a more lackadaisical vibe today. I am not really on for the scholarly discussion tonight. I think I just want to have a little bit of fun talking about a cool movie and, you know, just even more so laid back than we normally are. Just trying to talk about hidden themes and all that stuff. I kind of don't feel like doing that. I kind of feel like just chilling and talking about scenes we liked and cultural impact and just cool shit about it. So
Sounds good.
if you guys are cool with that, and
Yeah.
if you guys are cool with that, please, let us know.
I mean, I kind of have some certain things.
Let's
that I'm
start
kinda-
with it so that we can kind of get it out of the
Okay.
way.
One thing that I thought was kind of, an underlying theme with the movie was kind of like examining Anthony Hopkins' character. What was
Hannibal
Lecter? So there was this, of course, this theme where they're trying to examine him, right, to help with their finding of Buffalo Bill. But one thing I noticed when rewatching it again is the way that they shot it. They shot it very unique in that whenever a character was talking directly to Clarice, I noticed that they chose the camera straight on. So, for example, her boss, Hannibal Lecter, and also that prison, I forget his name.
Chilton.
Chilton.
The
Dr. Chilton.
skeevy
Yeah,
guy.
the skeevy guy.
That guy's great. The actor
really-
did a really good job of
Yeah.
that. I was like, God, I want to punch him in the fucking
He definitely
face.
gets
yes.
eaten at the end, right?
Yeah, he.
definitely.
I'm
I think that's straight where Lecter's flying.
I never read Hannibal, the book that
Uh-huh.
happens right after this, but I'm pretty sure it references him eating him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
Chilton
for
gets
sure.
eaten. Yeah.
So
You're supposed to
whenever
just decide that he is, but what were you saying?
Yeah. So whenever they're talking to Clarice, they're looking straight at the camera, almost as if they're like examining her. And so I kind of was thinking like this really isn't an examination of Hannibal Lecter. Really, I feel like this is an even more examination of Clarice. And so them choosing that camera angle, I thought was kind of interesting because whenever Clarice was talking to them, they didn't choose that same camera angle. Clarice wasn't directly looking at the camera.
looking at it like this.
Yeah, looking at it
Right.
directly. So I thought it was really interesting, and I don't know if that's intentional,
You-
but I thought
No, you're absolutely right. You hit it right on the head. One of the hidden themes of this movie is the male gaze, and they tried to explore that a lot. I've actually heard the director talk specifically about how that is. So the fact that you noticed it without doing any like particular research about it specifically,
Yeah, it wasn't
is real. No, I mean, but you noticed it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, there's a scene that he talks about when she's walking. She's at the airport, and she's walking towards the camera. There's all these people, and it looks like just a normal shot of the airport. But then there's a guy that walks on frame, and he crosses in front of her, and he looks at her. And you go,
yeah,
why was that in there? And it's, again, that same thing where it's like, even the background players are looking at her and inspecting her.
Like the scene where she goes to the Buffalo Bill victim where they go to the autopsy. Every single male detective
all looking
staring
at her.
her.
Dude.
Like, just viciously staring at her. Like, more beyond the, like, oh, she's, overstepping as, like, a female, federal agent in a small town investigation. It was like more of like, that's focusing on that male gaze of like.
Yeah, they really lean into it.
Yeah.
Do you think it was done too much? Because I know we've talked about in other like works of art that like sometimes they shove it down our throats a little bit. Do y'all think that male gaze was pretty much like kind of shoved in our throats a lot?
I think you noticed it because you're examining movies more.
More closer now.
Yeah, you're inspecting them a little bit closer. I think that if you had just seen this for the first time, you might not have even noticed it. So I don't want to say that it's shoving it down your throat because it just wasn't like obvious. It's there, and for us as knowing that, it's obvious to us. But like you've seen this movie multiple times, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think because the movie itself, like the story itself, the plot isn't really about that at all. There is that theme of like of because she's the protagonist, like that she has to prove herself constantly. She's also a trainee in the FBI. Nobody would take her seriously, regardless of if it was a young guy that's still doing his training.
Kind of would be the same.
They wouldn't be. They might not be sexualizing him at all, but they wouldn't be taking him serious.
Oh yeah, they would.
Well, Buffalo Bill would.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right, man. I just want to lean into just the great shit. All in all, the movie, the plot's great. The acting is top notch. It is phenomenal. Jodie Foster did such a good job. Anthony Hopkins did a really good job. That guy, Buffalo Bill's character. Sorry if I don't know his name. You guys know. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you know his name or not because you're just going to refer to him as Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, you will.
He's a great guy.
Every movie I've seen that he's in,
you can't
unsee it. And that sucks for him as an actor, is to be like, man, I can't shake that. Like, that lawyer, you going to look him up?
Yeah, I'm trying.
And he even dies. He's in the movie Heat, I think, with Al Pacino and De Niro, and he's one of the guys that gets shot. And he even dies the same way with his hit. Ted Levine.
Ted Levine.
Yeah. What a man. He did such a good job, bro.
What a range. Jesus. I'm looking at some.
He's fantastic. Yeah. He's so good. So, one of the... Do you remember my 28th birthday?
Are you talking about your specifically 28th birthday?
You might not remember, and... Basically,
I probably do.
There was this. So okay, let me back up. There's a guy I used to work with, John Stanley. Shout out to John Stanley. John Stanley was a hell of a character. If you met him, dude, you would never forget this guy. He was a fun guy.
Yeah.
So one day we're hanging out at John Stanley's. He's like 6 fat tires deep. And he's got Silence of the Lambs playing. I'm actually hanging out with his roommate. I was hanging out with Ty.
Yeah.
So me, Ty, and a couple other guys are hanging out. We're playing video games or something in one room. And John Stanley's in the other room. I go, hey man, can I have one of your beers or whatever? I go talk to him. And he tells me, oh my God, what the fuck did he say? He goes, oh, come in. It's about to happen. And I was like, what's going on? And it was the scene where Jodie Foster goes to, he's watching Silence of the Lambs and he goes, it's Jodie Foster going up to the house, and she's like, "Did you know that girl or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh wait, was she a great big fat person?" And dude, John cracked the fuck up, and then it became this thing that we would say all the time. So anytime someone would be like, "Oh wait," or like they'd say "wait," we'd go, "Was she a great big fat person?" And we did it for months, dude. And it was just because John Stanley just like cracked up a bunch of fat tires deep, just drunkenly laughing. And then on my 28th birthday, my sister, because Alex, I don't think you met her yet, she was on the show. She bought me a cake that had that Buffalo Bill's face printed on it, and it said, "Oh wait, you're 28."
Oh,
do you remember this? Do you remember? I feel like I took a picture of this. I think I showed you.
So it's funny because I watched it yesterday, rewatched it, and I remember that. Oh wait, and I was like, why is that such a big deal?
Yeah.
And I was like thinking,
John
I remember
Stanley.
Joseph, but I didn't. I needed a.
It was John.
That.
It was John.
Wow,
it was John Stanley. So John Stanley was just drunkenly laughing at this movie.
I think it's funny how he's like, "Dude, come in! It's about to
happen. It's about to happen.
I thought you were gonna say like, you know,
the dick tuck.
Yeah, no, not one of the most iconic parts. Just that.
Well, it's because his voice is fun to do.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's like, was she a big girl or whatever? No, wait, she ain't a big frank person. And he would just do it. It was just, man, that's one of my favorite just memories of this movie is just the joking around and making fun of Buffalo Bill. You know, the lotion.
Dude, I saw that you had the lotion.
I brought the lotion.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah. I should have put it in a bucket.
It's usually already in this room.
Oh gosh.
Dude, don't bring a UV light in here.
These lights turn into UV lights.
Yeah, there's a UV setting on these lights. So that's kind of, this movie has been a big deal for me since I was a kid. I think it was one of the first movies my dad was like, "Yo, you gotta watch this," and because
obvious problem.
Well, no, because like we would watch, you know, Friday the 13th, Exorcist, you know, we would look all the horror movies, and it was like, you don't know who Hannibal Lecter is? I think I was a teenager, and he was like, we gotta watch this movie, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, and then I think he made me liver and onions that night. Yeah.
Tell me why I think like Hannibal Lecter Silence of the Lambs can be like more shocking to people than like a slasher like Friday the 13th. Because like, all of those like sexual and like really like, I don't know.
I think you feel like it cuts deeper.
It does. It does. It is more real.
That could be a real guy.
Yeah.
No. Because Jason is fantasy. It's bullshit.
Well, it is kind of a little loosely based off of like, you know, Ted Bundy and, you know, Dahmer and people who are like mutilating. Guy's trying to wear a skin suit of ladies. Like,
yeah. It's a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
And well, because that Buffalo Bill feels like a guy. Hannibal Lecter does not feel like a guy. That guy does not feel real.
He feels supernatural.
Yeah,
and it's crazy
because
like
he doesn't feel like a guy.
They even make him so
he's like a force.
They're like 20 officers, like federal agents, trying to get him on the elevator, and they're like, they're like shaking.
Dude,
they're like,
dude, I wish I could watch that scene when he escapes the. We're in spoilers already. When he escapes the makeshift prison, at the end when he gets out. I wish I could watch that for the first time again.
They make for him.
Yeah, the bear cage, and he like takes the guy's face off.
Oh, dude.
Knowing it's coming, you're like, oh, whatever. But like, I was like, oh, remember the first time.
And they go in and they like, you know, they find the guy sprayed out, like, you know, he's just.
Oh, he's like crucified.
Yeah, he's like an angel with like the flags and like his guts are like. And they find the other officer that they think is and. It kind of already looks like Anthony Hopkins. I mean, don't ruin it. It looks like Anthony Hopkins wearing an Anthony Hopkins mask. Like, so, like if you rewatch it, like, like his face is like mush. And not only that, like I was rewatching it because he had more hair when he was down on the floor, and then when he pulls it off, he didn't just take his face. He like scalped him too. He like took his hair too, and. He's like there, like trying to convulse, like.
I think he was convulsing. I think they gave him medicine.
Well, no. He was convulsing to like.
Yeah, I think he was doing it
to act. So like he was going out, and he was like the guy's like, "Oh, you're okay. You're gonna be all right," and he's like bubbling at
he's like spitting.
He's like spitting.
So
it's effective, I guess.
Yeah, when I was watching that scene, I was wondering like, why did Hannibal Lecter, spray him out like that? Like, what was the significance of it? Like, why did he have to go that route? He was just, the whole goal was to escape, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's actually really brilliant. At least this is what I think. The reason why he went to the trouble of going and doing that is because of the fact that what if they didn't buy him putting on somebody's face on his face? Like,
what if they needed was him?
Oh, they're gonna be distracted by that
exactly
terrifying
horror. Like they're like, oh my god, like, and then that's my theory as to why.
No, you're right.
But he is also like very into
theatrical.
Theatrical, and
definitely.
And in the not Red Dragon, but the continuation, the one where
Hannibal.
Yeah. He kind of does something very similar. And he does,
the guy on the dolly?
Yeah, he does take stuff very, like, biblically and very, like, what saints, how they were, like... You know, if you ever read about any of the saints, none of them... They became saints because they were, like, crucified upside down. And
they were
like,
beheaded.
Or, like, boiled in oil and stuff. And, like, in the Hannibal, he did that to the guy because that happened to, I think, St. Peter was, like, crucified upside down with, like, his guts out. And he does that to him, and he's fucking like, he's crazy. He's like, this is good taste. To him, that's like good taste. He's like,
because he thinks it's artistic. He thinks he's leaning into that. The reason I was laughing right now, I don't know if you caught that. It's completely unrelated to anything except that. So I was a very inquisitive child. I asked a lot of questions, and looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I don't know how my grandma didn't like hit me. We were in church one day.
Dude.
We were in church one day, and we used to go to St. Thomas More's Catholic Church, and I was little, and I remember this. There's a big like painting of St. Thomas More, and we sat near it like all the time. It was like the one that was like closest to the wall, and we were like say this is the pew. It was like right here. And I remember I asked her because he's wearing this hat that's very of the time and of the church. It's just a weird looking hat. And I asked her, I said, why does St. Thomas More wear that hat? And I think she was trying to explain to me that he wore the hat because it was a indication of his office in the church or something. I don't know, like how high up he was or whatever. And what I got from what she said was that they cut his head off. And I was like, oh, okay. So just the top, I said, just this part where you cut the top part off, and he put that hat on him to cover it up. So I thought of that, dude. Trying to explain. I was like, I asked my grandma, what the fuck? I can only imagine her trying to like explain to a fucking 6-year-old, like.
So if you were Hannibal Lecter, instead of you hanging him up like that, you would just cut his top off his head and put one of those hats on his head. That would be your artistic calling card.
And I was like, so that happened, but it didn't kill him. Is like my idea. So
he had to cover it up with the hat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how stupid Catholicism is, man. It really made. I was like
6.
I was little, dude. I was little, and I remember because that was one of the first times, and she was just like, "You don't get to ask me these questions anymore." Because like, I would ask her all the time, just like stuff like that. I'd be like, "Well, can you drink holy water?" Like, anyway, whatever. We're gonna talk about some weird shit, but the idea of like, of the intricate and extravagant ways they would torture people and stuff in the church, Hannibal Lecter would for sure, as a character, lean into shit like that.
Oh yeah, he loves that shit.
He loves it.
He's super intellectual, and that's another part that makes it super kind of scary, you know?
He's scarier than probably any villain at all. He's got an incredible, like a supernatural patience. He can smell, like the way he smells people.
Oh gosh.
Like remember he smells the holes in the glass, and he's like, "Oh, Dr. Chilton's walking, like he's coming." He says something like that.
I don't
He's like, "Dr. Chilton, I presume," and then like you see your footsteps, and he's coming in, but it's because he smelled it. He smelled it through the glass. He smelled that she wasn't bleeding anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember he gives her the towel?
Right.
And he's like,
so okay, so
he's like the bleeding stopped.
not only does he smell that the bleeding has like stopped, like what does he smell? Coagulated blood? What is it like? Yeah, he's like a fucking animal.
Yeah, he's a vampire.
Yeah,
they treat him like he's like Count. I was
Yeah,
gonna
think
say
one dude,
Count Chocula. Count Chocula.
even one dude was like,
the most dangerous of all the Draculas.
Some fucking dude was like, oh, is this guy like? A real
Is it true what
vampire?
they say? Is he a vampire?
And then she's like, they don't even.
They don't
There's
have
not
a
even
word
for
Yeah.
it. Like, gosh, dude.
They don't have a word for him yet.
Yeah. So I'm curious about what's the difference between. Is there any major differences between the book and the movie?
I did not read this recently. That's very different from the ones we normally do. Because when this was kind of a surprise one. This was a, hey, you guys down to do this? Kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So I didn't read it right before we did this, which
So it's
is
not super fresh.
different than all the ones we've done. I read it like right before we did it.
Right.
But I do remember. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Hannibal Lecter in the books has an extra finger. He has to have special gloves because he has an extra finger. Clarice hooks up with one of the bug guys. Remember the weird bug guys?
Oh, yeah.
She
Okay.
actually hooks up with one of them.
Yeah.
And it's like how the book ends is she's like in bed next to him. And she can finally sleep because the lamb stops screaming. That's like one of the last lines in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it the guy with the weird eye?
I think it's the guy with the weird eye.
Yeah. So that was probably just a nod to.
Oh, maybe it's because it's the one guy in the movie that doesn't ogle her because he's only half looking around.
He can't give her the stare.
He can't stare at her
He's
for
trying to.
proper-
He's trying to look at her.
He does indirectly like hit on her. He doesn't.
No, he's pretty direct.
Huh?
You ever go out for cheeseburgers
Yeah,
and
he's
beer?
never go cheeseburger. Beer.
But
Are you hitting on me? He's like, yes.
Clarice was like actually cool with it. Honestly.
Yeah, she was.
She was like,
Yeah,
she
and I think it was a nod to the book of them actually like hooking
Right,
up. I think it was
definitely gonna.
yeah. It's just I'm gonna fuck that bug guy.
I think that other guy was around too. The other bug guy.
Yeah, he was just in the
gosh.
other room playing chess by himself.
Yeah. It was all the bugs.
And then she's like explaining that Buffalo Bill would do this dick tuck thing.
Oh my god.
Dude, can we talk about how awesome that song is?
Goodbye.
Please tell me you listened to the song on the drive over here, or that you're gonna listen to it on the drive home. Because when you guys leave, I'm gonna blast it.
It is.
While I get ready for bed.
But it
I'm
doesn't
gonna be
ruin. It
dancing
doesn't
around.
ruin that song though for you because
Before you tuck yourself into bed.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking tuck myself into bed. Oh god. No, it doesn't. I think for Q, I think that song ruined their career because they only had it was a one hit. Like I don't know
One hit wonder.
I don't know any other song by Q Lazarus.
No.
But Goodbye Horses is a fucking great song. Like you can't act like that. That's not a cool song. And like one of the aspects of this that I noticed with that song is you're kind of, if you don't know, like the sex of the singer is kind of ambiguous.
Oh.
You can't really tell, and I think they did that on purpose, where it's like you can't really tell if it's a male or female vocalist. I think that they kind of did that on purpose with Bill, like not
From
really
the
there.
lyrics.
From
Wait, are you saying from the
no,
voice?
the sound, yeah, the voice.
You're not saying like the actual singer from how they carry themselves in real life.
I don't know what they carry themselves in real life. I'm just basing it off of like, because if I told you it was a male singer, you'd be like, oh okay, and if I told you it was a female singer, you'd be like, oh okay. What do you think they are, or do you know?
Well, I think that though that there's a lot of like that's not abnormal.
Does it sound? Well, do you think it's a male or female singer?
I think it's a male singer.
It's not. It's a lady. Q Lazarus is a lady,
Gotcha.
and it
But I
sounds
think
like
that
a male
that's
singer, right? I mean, I think so. I thought it was until I found out, and I was like, oh, okay.
But I think there's lots of artists out there that kind of come off that way that they could go either way.
Sure.
So
Part of the vocalizing
Probably
is being able to do that. But I feel like they chose the song specifically because they weren't just picking some random song for him to dance around to. Like he does the lyrics too. He like mouths the words. Like that song is specifically chosen.
yeah.
They practiced with that song in mind. It wasn't like some just random pop song that was coming out at the time.
Right.
There was purpose behind.
That wasn't written in the book, was it?
I don't remember.
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
But dancing to that song.
I think he does. I think he
that
does
song?
fuck around. I don't know about that specific song, but he does.
Tuck and play.
Yeah. Yeah. the best part of the movie.
So would you?
What's
This is kind of a
part
dumb
the
question.
movie?
It's probably not.
No, it is. Would you rather be chased by Buffalo Bill or Hannibal Lecter?
Be chased or be a victim of? Because Hannibal Lecter lures people to him.
That's true. So
Hannibal Lecter gets the victims to want to be around him.
Sure, yeah.
And Buffalo Bill is a predator. He finds them.
Well, toward the end of the movie, you could argue that Hannibal Lecter becomes a predator.
True. That's a fair point.
When he eats that...
The flutist?
Yeah. That's more...
But he charms the guy.
Yeah, but he felt that he had to do it as like a service.
Well, yeah, all the victims he has, he chooses to victimize them. I'm saying more so his MO, his like...
Well, he's not... He probably is kidnapping him, of course. He's like, they're both kidnapping people. Because Hannibal's not... Like,
right, but you wouldn't see Hannibal Lecter in a car, like, driving around looking for a victim.
No.
He's not picking random people. These are people he knows or, like, meets or, like...
Yeah.
Talks to, and they come over to him. They go to his house.
Because he's seeing...
Willingly go to his house, and then he attacks
them.
them.
He's cleaning the society that he wants of the people that he sees as indesirables in the, like, social groups and societies that he relates himself to.
Right.
In that area. Buffalo Bill is trying to make a suit of women, but he's not trying to...
He doesn't care who they are.
Who it affects him. He's looking for women and trying to put here and there and drop their bodies, and, you know, like she was saying, like Clarice was saying, like he's getting a good real taste for it, you know.
Yeah.
He's getting smarter. And Hannibal, he kind of slipped up because at one point he got very comfortable, very personal. He was a psychiatrist, for God's sake, and he was like very comfortable in his...
I almost wish there wasn't more Hannibal. I wish it was just this. Because I like the idea of not knowing
how he got caught.
Yeah. I think for the sake, let's say if you just watched Silence of the Lambs and you didn't see...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like all the other films, like I'm not a big fan of, and they don't like. They don't hit me as hard as Silence of the Lambs. Because like the more I know about Hannibal Lecter, the less scary he is, the less I really truly care.
Exactly.
So the only one that I really
I don't know. Find the idea that he would eat someone and serve it to the entire like.
I mean, it's cool.
Symphony board, like the people who are like
the bad flautist of the fucking of the symphony,
and then
they fed him to them,
and then fed it to them and made jokes about, and he's like, and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this?
This poor man.
What meat is this? He's like, if I told you, I'm afraid you would never.
See, those are fun as like
those are great.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I almost would.
But how does this like otherworldly supernatural like genius get caught? Like
right. Well, I like the idea. It's just a personal taste for me. Is like if this movie
maybe
was
wanted
just
to get caught.
Stood alone.
Maybe he wanted to get caught.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Like I because those other films I have watched, I want to say I've watched.
I think Red Dragon's pretty good.
Yeah. Is Red Dragon?
They're good. They're okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the sequel prequels, except the
Silence of the Lambs is perfect. I'd say.
Yeah, it's like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, there's hardly anything wrong with Silence of the Lambs. I can't really pinpoint something I don't really care about the film.
I get if you leave the story there of Silence of the Lambs, it really doesn't need any addition.
It doesn't.
Like if you,
it absolutely doesn't. Do you want to see Clarice go and hunt him? That they did.
Oh, I
that.
thought you were about to say "fuck the bug guy." I was like, yes,
yes, I do.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was a deleted scene that I really like to see. Can you imagine her with that fucking West Virginia accent, and him with that bug eye?
Ugh. 2 beetles on him.
Just a beetle. He puts a towel over the jar of beetles. He doesn't want them to see.
No, my God. Don't see.
Don't watch me. Don't watch me.
I think you've been thinking about that scene, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a cool detail when you know. It's like, she fucked the bug guy?
That is a cool detail. It's kind of strange, though, with the movie in mind. Like, you don't see that
No, it would have been. It would have been bad for the movie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It is funny to know that happened.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You know, there's
Yeah, thank God they left that out.
Yeah, thank God they left that out. That would have been
even a deleted scene. You're like, oh, and deleted scene.
Dude, you want to talk about weird deleted scenes? And we've been kind of jumping around. We're just we're just kind of having fun now. Hannibal takes place, I don't know, like 8 years, something like that, after the events of Silence of the Lambs. Basically, Hannibal's free, and they take Clarice off of whatever mission she was just on, and they were like, maybe, I guess, I don't remember what happens. Like, he sends her a letter or something, and she's like, I'm gonna find him, right? Mm-hmm. That's cool. I can get behind it just as like a continuation of the story, but in that
focus more on Clarice, right?
It's very much her,
That's
and
okay.
she's like a badass FBI agent now. She's like, I think they tell her she's in the Guinness Book of World Records for killing the most perpetrators.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a silly detail, but whatever. So, anyways, I went through.
Why was she not fired?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was all justified, I guess. Have you seen it? Have you seen Hannibal, the second one, when they go to Europe?
Is that the one where, like, at the very end, he's like eating the dude's brains? Like he's
like Thomas More's head.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Did he put a hat on? He did. I think he did have a hat on.
No, he didn't.
No.
Damn. Fucking missed opportunity. But there's a deleted scene in that one where, because you go, what is Hannibal Lecter's attraction or fascination with Clarice? Aside from he is just amusing himself because he's there. He's stuck in there. He's got this asshole Chilton that fucks with him all the time. Puts on gospel, church shows to fuck with him and like put the volume way up and whatever, and he screws with him. So he hates this guy.
Oh yeah.
But then Clarice comes in, and you almost get the feeling again, because Hannibal Lecter is not like he's like supernatural, that is he attracted to her?
That's interesting you bring that up, because I actually think there's like almost like a mutual attraction between the two characters. I saw that.
I can't disagree with it.
Like there's almost like, you know how like women fall at the man, like it's very stereotypical, like they fall into their arms kind of thing. Mm-hmm. There's even stuff like that in Silence of the Lambs when like she's running to get the reports back from him when he's in that bear cage.
Yeah.
She like runs to him and like, the way it was shot, it came off to me like she's
it was shot romantic. Like it was a romantic.
Yeah, like
Well, and then he like touches her.
Goodbye on the steam train.
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yes, he does just.
He just touches her finger for her. Yeah.
But it's hard to say. Like, is he attracted to her because he wants to fucking eat her, or does he just actually?
Yeah, it's a good question.
What
do you guys think?
Definitely. Well, in the continuation in Hannibal.
Well, that's what I was going to bring that.
Yeah, he dresses her. He undresses her and dresses her in like this nice dress.
Oh, he puts her in a nice dress.
Yeah, puts her in a nice dress.
Right.
Completely sees her naked. Puts her in a nice dress.
Yeah.
Sets a nice dinner. His version of a nice dinner. Eating people's brains.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, Ray Liotta. The best brains in the market at the time. And this is not too far.
It's like, this is what brains taste like after 30 years of cocaine use.
Oh, cigarettes. Do you taste
cigarettes? Yeah,
cigarettes and cocaine. Cigarettes.
So with that continuation in mind, then it's pretty clear. But solely focusing on Silence of the Lambs,
right.
It's like
Well, no, there's a scene I was gonna bring up from Hannibal, because I had the DVD that had like the special features and it has deleted scenes and stuff.
Oh,
and I love looking at deleted scenes in movies. I don't do it so much anymore because it's streaming or whatever, but like that was something I used to do all the time. So there's a scene in Hannibal that they deleted, and thank God they deleted it because it's creepy, and like not in a cool Hannibal Lecter way, in a weird. No, right? So Hannibal Lecter like is at this point following Clarice around, and he gets in her car, and she's got one of those like leather like the. What do they call them on the?
What is he doing to it?
The steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
The
just
leather
like
thing.
Cover.
The cover. I don't know what they're called.
Oh god, what is he doing?
Dude, we gotta look this. I gotta show you guys when we're done with this. He gets forward in it towards the steering wheel, and he like sniffs it, and then he starts licking it. Imagine Anthony Hopkins like leaned over in a car, just like licked because he's like knows that she was touching it. I'm glad they left it out.
Yeah, that is.
But you get this
silly. Like,
well, it is. It wouldn't have worked. But but then you think he just wanted to like taste her because he eats people.
We feel like
it's creepy because like
he wanted to taste her, but like not because he doesn't want to eat her.
He does want to eat her.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like that idea.
He might not eat her because he respects her.
Yeah.
But he wants to eat her.
He wants to see what she tastes like.
Yeah.
But he can't
because he's in love with her.
Yeah, in a sick Hannibal way. In a my love for you is not eating you way.
See, those continuation movies kind of like it bothers me.
I agree that
like,
this should just be. I mean, yeah, this should just be a self-contained
like,
story. But it is weird. Just imagine Hannibal Lecter just. It's fucking gross, dude. It was gross.
Yeah, that is.
I remember seeing it and being like, "Yeah, I'm glad they left that out." And then
Anthony Hopkins just like not too long ago was like diagnosed with Asperger's, with autism. And he's
no way.
Yeah, and he said that like
that's crazy.
He said that he's always been eccentric and has always been told so, that he's been different, but never would think that he was. But based off of like he went like recent diagnosis and they like said that he has like a form of Asperger's of autism, and it's just like
so it's a very high functioning.
Yeah. There's high functioning people, and it's like. He fucking dated, what's her name? Martha Stewart. And she said he was, like, one of the most creepiest people she's ever, like, been out with.
I
like,
saw that. I saw that
bet.
meme, but I thought he had a wife forever. Did he? Was he? I thought he had a wife forever.
I have no idea.
I don't know if he had a wife. But
I thought that was a meme. I didn't know that. Is
out,
that legit? He did date
go out with
Martha Stewart?
Martha Stewart? No, he did go out.
Did Martha Stewart fuck Snoop Dogg?
She's got it.
So.
I'm sure she did.
Oh, they look old enough.
They
close
smash.
enough of age.
Think so?
Yeah.
Why does Snoop Dogg look like he's 80?
He's always looked like he was old, dude. When Doggy Style came out, he must have been like 19, and he looked like 30-something.
It was like when the original like Doggy Style went out.
Somebody
980.
I'll have to edit this. When did Doggy Style come out? It was like 1990.
19 back then.
It was like 1993 or 1994 when Doggy Style came out with Gin and Juice. I mean, that should put him on the map, bro. And Martha Stewart said, "I'm gonna fuck that guy."
Fucking.
As soon as I get out of prison, I'm gonna fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck that guy. They made mashed potatoes. You know,
they did.
Smashed potatoes. Fucking hell.
Let's try the smoke iron.
And they made food.
You down with that?
Yeah.
I want to try those fava beans.
Well, we got the nice Chianti here.
Honestly, if you just laid those out and told me those banana chips, and then said they were like not very good banana chips, I would say, yeah, those are some.
They look like
not really
chips.
good banana chips.
Oh, did you really try them?
Yeah, they really don't taste like much. Like just salted.
They're almost like chickpeas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with them. They're good. Yeah, I see why he wanted to eat it with some liver.
Yeah, I don't really care for these actually.
Do you want to take a sip of this?
No, I'm good.
Cheers to Hannibal Lecter. How stupid is it that he's Hannibal the Cannibal? Like, honestly, I've always thought that was dumb.
Yeah, it's almost too on point.
That's a criticism for the movie. Why is he Hannibal the Cannibal?
Hannibal the Cannibal, but also tell me if Hannibal isn't a really cool name for him being like a cannibal. Tell me it would have worked if his name was Hector. If the next movie was
Hector Lecter. Hector Lecter. Oh my God, no. Hector Lecter. Did you do that on purpose? You dickhead.
Fucking shit.
It's like
or Hubert.
Brad Lecter.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No, Hannibal's pretty good. It's fucking.
You think he would be pretentious enough to want to use that name, but like it is kind of dumb. Hannibal the Cannibal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's just too on point for me. It's like, duh, Hannibal the Cannibal. Like,
yeah.
It's just.
But what a great character, man.
And like his scene, bro, when he's behind the glass, like honestly, that's probably either one. Honestly, like those are probably the best like acting snippets like of all time. For me, at least.
Yeah. No, he's very good. But it's weird that Anthony Hopkins could do a role like Hannibal Lecter's and it'd be this iconic performance. But you can see Anthony Hopkins do all sorts of roles. I don't really know him in a lot. I mean, we just watched Elephant Man. He was in that.
Yeah.
But like he can do different kinds of roles, and you're not like sold that he's always Hannibal Lecter every time he's in a movie.
Like I wasn't watching Elephant Man and being like, oh, there's Hannibal Lecter running around with this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I didn't get that vibe either.
Yeah.
So, but why is it that that's the case, even though his performance is like so iconic? And then you look at fucking the guy that did Buffalo Bill, and you're like, he's Buffalo Bill forever. Is it because the goofy shit that he does? Putting on the makeup and like...
it's a shock factor.
I think he never washed away that, he never had as iconic of a role that washed away that performance.
I think it's the fact that the whole...
It's like Peter Sellers like doing like the Pink Panther. Like no one could ever see him anything else. Like he tried to do movies after Pink Panther, but everyone like saw him as Pink Panther.
The Naked Gun.
How many Pink Panthers did he do?
He did like fucking 7. And then you have like Jim Carrey who like did a bunch of comedy movies and people want to see him as comedy and he's like, I want to be a serious... He did a movie where he was like an Irish detective. Did you check that out? It is hilarious. It is.
Recently?
He's trying to be serious. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He's like doing a murder mystery as he's got a shaved head and a big beard and he's in Scotland or something. He's like, and I'm looking for the murderer. I'm like, this is Jim Carrey. I'm like, I just see him as Ace Ventura.
Just do the mask again.
Yeah, I just see him as Ace Ventura. I'm like, is this a joke? The whole movie, I was like, when is he gonna jump? When is he gonna rip off the beard and say something funny?
But he does the same character. Ace Ventura is the mask.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the same shit. The Riddler. It's the same thing over and over. So it's like...
Well, that's just Jim Carrey. The mask was just... Everything was just Jim Carrey.
Well, right. But I'm saying, like, his performance is the same all the time.
The amount of times, like he's done comedy for so much, and that's just what audiences see him as. In this case, it's different. Like, the Ted Levine... I think was
yeah.
So, for me, I think it's the fact that the whole dick tuck. I think that has never been done on screen.
I don't think anybody saw him untuck it is the thing, and everyone's just
we needed a bookend. We needed to see him untuck it.
Yeah, he needs to come out in a more recent movie. He just whips it out, and then everyone will forget.
No. He like wakes up. And he like is getting his morning routine. He sleeps in the nude, of course. And he gets up, and it's like stuck. He was sweating, so it's like stuck to the inside of his leg. And then he just like does this, and then you're like, oh, okay, he does, yeah. And then now he's not Buffalo Bill anymore.
And he's back.
He's Big Dick Bill now. No, but you know what's funny? Okay, so I didn't know that he had Asperger's.
Yeah.
But I do think he's a great actor, right? Now that you say that, you mentioned that you didn't care for his performance that much in Elephant Man because he was very subdued.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Asperger's? Maybe he struggles with a little bit with how to behave the way most of us would behave, because in Hannibal Lecter he's a serial killer, so he can act off.
Oh, he is distant.
Yeah.
You see him distant from the human psychological norm. He's definitely that, and I think that plays very well with him being Asperger's. But like,
and then in Elephant Man, did you watch Elephant Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's.
Yeah,
could that be a little bit of it where he like maybe he doesn't know how to do it that well?
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe not like because I think both performances were superb. I think it was a more directional route in Elephant Man that's why he was at that subdued way. So I think it was the direction that he was given. But I bet you the director for Silence of the Lambs let Anthony Hopkins be free, because I saw him free. He was straight up flying in his performances. There was nothing I saw. I'm sure the director gave him direction, but I'm sure it was very limited. And so he was able to just tap into that Asperger's and just truly be this psychotic, crazy intellectual that kind of Asperger individuals can kind of come off to be.
There's a deleted scene of this that there's some kind of psychological test. I don't know what it's called. Maybe I'll make a note here. I don't know. But it's like where you ask somebody to draw like a house, like a very simplified version of a house. And then you see that? Yeah. And it's like, and then you're supposed to take this picture of the house, and then you're supposed to apply it to different like criteria. You go, well, how big is the sun? How cloudy is it? How big are the windows versus the door? You know, there's like these weird things with this test. So whatever that test is called, Hannibal Lecter in this deleted scene is talking about that test with Clarice. And he's like, I bet if you ran a test on Buffalo Bill, and he like starts getting kind of emotional, and you're like, well, they should have left this scene in the movie. And he's like, the house, it would have been without plants. There would have been no trees. And the windows would have been whatever. It's like very well done, but you almost get you get to see him really do that. And I think the movie may have benefited more if they'd left it in.
Missed out on that.
Yeah, it's really. We should look it up.
He was telling Clarice what he thought Buffalo Bill would be.
If he saw Buffalo Bill's house, what the house would look like. He's like the trees would have been gnarled and burned, or he like goes in this whole thing. Yeah, and you're like, whoa, it was a really good scene. I was like, fuck, they should have left that in.
It almost sounds too intellectual for like the average audience member. No. I guess I have to see the scene, but
no, they don't. They might have just done it for time. They just need.
It's not a long movie. I was kind of shocked. Like I think it could actually be a little longer. The movie's only 2 hours long.
I think it was a good runtime.
What's some of the best food you guys ever saw in movies? Like where's a scene like the steak in Matrix where you go, oh man, that Joe Pantoliano, he eats that steak and it's
he says, I know this isn't real.
He's like, this isn't real. So but they really show you how good that fucking steak looks. I'm like,
you know what's crazy? Is I think that actually steak looks awful. Not from like, just because of I'm like buying into the movie, like that steak's not real. So I actually think that steak doesn't look good because I'm like, I buy the movie a lot. Like I'm like, okay, I get it. It's totally fake.
Like, Law-abiding citizen. That big steak that he kills the guy with. That big fucking porterhouse.
I saw that. Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, it's
Gerard
Butler and Jamie Foxx. And actually, it isn't bad. It's got some pretty good fucked up like torture scenes.
But he kills the guy with a steak.
So he's in prison and he wants to kill his cellmate so he can get into isolation, and he's on. Not on death row, but he's like giving up like locations of bodies and stuff like that, so that
he has a bargaining chip.
So he wants a big bed and he wants like a big steak given, like a big meal from like the top of the line like restaurant in like LA, and they give it to him. So they wheel in like the steak, all this mashed potatoes, all this shit. Like they give it to him,
right?
And he's like eating it with his cellmate. He's this fucking huge, like, big porterhouse. It's like a huge version of a T-bone, and it's fucking delicious.
So that's like your favorite looking one
of a steak that's in a movie?
Of just a movie,
That's one of the good movies. That's one of the good steaks. I'm like,
well, it doesn't have to be a steak. I'm more so saying just like.
I'm just saying it would look like good food. Oh, I'm mean, like.
So I'm trying to think of like, there's like a lot of like movie, like food movie type stuff, like that movie Chef with Jon Favreau.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff looks delicious, but I feel like that's too on the.
I feel like that's like a food
movie. Like, of course,
or just like something you remember. I remember the breakfast in Twister.
I want to eat.
I don't remember that.
They go to the Helen Hunt's aunt or her grandma or whoever's house, and she makes a bunch of eggs and steak and eggs and potatoes or something for breakfast for all the guys, and you go, man, that breakfast is good. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I don't even know why I asked that question. I just was thinking about maybe just like the way he.
I mean, I want to eat like the fucking, like the toast that they make in like V for Vendetta that he makes for her.
Oh, the egg, the eggs and the toast.
That's good. That looks fucking good.
And it's super easy. You could do like.
Yeah, like the apple like crisp like. With the whipped cream in like Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, the strudel or whatever it is.
That looks so fucking good.
You know,
even the milk they have at the beginning, I'm
Dude,
like,
yes.
God, that looks like good milk.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
do you think that I heard there's a theory, and I kind of believe it, but I'm also like, is that somebody looking a little bit too deep? So in like kosher eating, when you have to eat kosher, you're not supposed to mix different parts of the animal together. And in the strudel, like they say that it's a test to see if she's Jewish or not, because the whipped cream is the dairy part, and there's lard in the dessert, in the pastry.
So she eats it because.
Well, she's uncomfortable. That's a theory. She's uncomfortable because she's going against the fact that she's Jewish.
Right.
That's the biggest thing that upsets her, is not that the murderer of her family's across.
Well,
she's
she
like,
eats
this
it.
Is so unkosher.
Well, no, I know.
She does have
right.
a face, and she's like,
but
delicious.
But she might just be uncomfortable because it's Hans Landa that.
But
character.
remember, she eats it. She tries to eat it without the cream, and then he goes,
"Oh, you must
wait
have
for
it."
the cream.
Wait for the cream.
And so she's.
Oh, that's right.
So
Yeah.
maybe she was like,
so
cool,
that,
like,
I saw that theory going on, and I was like, oh, maybe there's some legitimacy to that theory. But you're right. That strudel looks good. But Tarantino's movies always have that, like that burger that Jules eats. This is going way off topic. Hey, fuck it, y'all are here for it.
$5 milkshake.
No, the Big Kahuna burger.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And you go, it's just a shitty like fast food
it's
burger, and you go, "Damn, I don't know though. I would want one of those.
It's the way that the
He drinks
actors
a
talk
Sprite.
about it. Oh, yeah.
Or damn, I'm trying to think. There's definitely like good like movie shot food
Like
shots in movies.
Goodfellas, like I think it's like spaghetti or lasagna or some shit. With like
Or when they're eating at
Well,
the
which
mom's
part?
place.
Or when he's shaving the garlic
when he's shaving the garlic, yeah.
in prison. Yeah.
Or like
yeah, when he's like doing it with the razor blade to make it so thin, it just melts with a little olive oil in the
Yeah.
He's
Or
like,
in
and he puts too many onions, I think. He's
Yeah.
like, how many onions do you put in? 3 onions. 3? That's too many onions.
Oh, the voiceover and then the rook. That's such
Yeah,
a great. We should do Goodfellas.
we should do Goodfellas.
Some great food.
Yeah, great food. Yeah, Godfather when he goes, "Hey, come here, I'm gonna teach you how to make sauce," and then he's like, "You got to throw in your tomatoes and your tomato paste. I put a little sugar and a little wine. That's my trick." You go, "Damn, I want to eat some
Dude, yeah.
sauce."
The way that you're just casually making it.
Is that when James Caan is?
But
Is that when James Caan is making some sauce? Is it when he's?
No.
He goes and tastes it. It's it's Clemenza.
Okay.
It's the big guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
he tastes.
Even like the cannoli sounds good. Like when he's like,
You know what's funny? Most
gotta
people
take the cannoli.
Those
seem
must have
to
been
not
good if he
like.
said, "Don't forget the cannolis." After he shot that guy, he's like, "Don't forget the cannolis." And he
Yeah.
goes back
He
into the car
goes,
and
no, he
grabs
goes, leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Take the cannoli.
Oh, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Because, I think maybe I brought it up because I remember being like, dude, I want some lamb chops. But it's in that, like, shitty, like...
Oh, yeah, it doesn't
But
look
if you got, like... Because, dude, when you made the lamb that one time...
Dude, that shit was good.
He did, like, an herb-crusted lamb. It was top-notch. It was the best thing you cooked. You
good.
cook some badass shit, and that's the best thing you
It
cooked.
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It was really good.
But it did not look good in the movie.
No, it looked bad.
No, it looked really fucking nasty.
And he goes, you ordered lamb chops, extra rare. And you go, fuck. Because he's he just eats people.
Yeah. So do you think that he eats people because he enjoys it, or is it more like that's like his thing?
He wouldn't
or
do
like,
it. He wouldn't do it if he didn't enjoy it.
He enjoys it on more levels
But-
than you
but
think.
is
He
it more-
loves it, dude.
Is it more like
It's
a
his favorite thing to do.
spiritual thing, or like an actual physical taste kind of thing?
Well,
I think it's a bit of both. I think.
excluding the extra movies, just just sitting on
That's
this
what
one.
I'm doing. Yeah, because to me, I'm like, I don't really care.
Well,
for
do you
this.
know what the first time you ate a person?
I don't remember.
We'll go back to your conversation, but in canon, in the story, they're starving because there's some kind of war bullshit going on, and these guys take over his house, and they're running out of food, and they, I guess, draw straws and they kill his younger sister, and they eat her,
Yeah,
and
they
they
make
make
soup
Hannibal
out of
eat
her.
it. Yeah, they make Hannibal eat it.
Hannibal eat his own sister.
So he's like, if you look at it like that, then there's
Of course,
fucked up reasons why he might.
Yeah.
But we're gonna leave that out. And do you feel like there's something specific about why he's eating people? like as far as spiritualism or something?
Well, there's nothing to like really fall back on to really make me decide that. It's just, I can see it both ways. Like, the fact that he's super intellectual, like all the like spiritual kind of like biblical references, like the way he sprung them out, it just comes across in Just Silence of the Lambs that it's more of a, I felt more of like a spiritual like enjoyment rather than the actual like physical taste. Like when I see a juicy cheeseburger, I'm like, I want the taste. I'm not looking for like, you know, oh, like my mom made me this meal when she was little. Like that's almost like a spiritual attachment that I have to that particular meal. It might not be the actual tastiest meal in the world, but it's that spiritual connection.
Okay, but if it were up to him, and like there wasn't the need to hide it or to like make sure the police didn't find him,
I think it adds to it.
Well, I think he would just be eating. He would be making them immaculate meals. I think that if it weren't for the fact that it's like a rebellious or whatever thing, evil thing, that he would just like have a victim, somebody that just wronged him, and he would turn them into this this fancy meal.
He definitely has a taste for
the finer things.
Yeah, he's not just eating people raw. He's cooking them. They're oysters. They're like tender parts behind the back.
Yeah.
Like that's how you fillet a pig or like a chicken or something. You're looking for
like a duck or something.
The most succulent parts of the body. He's literally thinking of like a French gourmet of how he's eating people.
Right.
So he's definitely first of all, like done it more than once. He's like leg, not a good cut. He's like this cut, really choice.
If you're gonna eat the leg, slow cook it for 16 hours.
Yeah, he's like.
Does he say that?
No, but that's how you get the idea that that's what he would do.
Yeah, like the man.
He would do it. He would take it real serious.
You know what's crazy is that you could probably. I'm not sure there's been studies on this. People, because our meat is probably very similar to other types of
pork.
Yeah, so like you could probably
that's what they
figure out.
That's what they say. It's the closest thing to meat that they like. How everything tastes like chicken, human tastes like pork.
Wow,
that's what the headhunters say.
Mm-hmm.
People that have actually eaten people.
Wow.
So you can make puerco pibil. You can make carnitas. You can make.
Dang,
make a pork.
Is it scary that I'm getting actually hungry again? Like.
Yeah.
We're fucking talking about.
If you yeah, we're gonna make a new meal and we're gonna play Q Lazarus on loop.
Oh god.
Then Brandon's gonna be dancing in the back while I'll chop the vegetables.
Entertainment.
Yeah. Do the tuck. Shut up and do the tuck. I'm tired. We had 2 bottles of Chianti. Shut up. Tuck it.
It's the new dance, the tuck.
We should do it. We should bring. You know how they have different like dances that get popular. We should do the Buffalo Bill Dick Tuck.
Oh my god.
We should make it a TikTok dance.
It'll go off.
It probably will be.
It will.
I don't want to be a part of it.
You can record us. We'll do it.
That's almost like worse.
What do you want to do?
Like, watch. Okay, guys, tuck in.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm not ready. It's cold
where
in
were
here.
you during this? I told them go.
Mine's the finger that like is in front of the camera for a second. Eddie, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We don't, right? We're kind of not even talking about the movie anymore.
Yeah.
I think, long story short, watch the movie. It's great.
Yeah.
This
do
was
the dance.
Do the Buffalo Bill Dick Tuck. Have some fun with it.
Get some lotion.
Rub the lotion on the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many iconic lines, man.
Hello, Clarice.
That
It's
doesn't
not
happen.
how it goes.
Well, it doesn't.
It's like good evening or something, right?
Well, he doesn't say it in Silence of the Lambs. It's in Hannibal.
Well, he says.
It's in the second movie. He goes, "Is this Clarice? Well, hello, Clarice." Yeah.
But in this one, I think he says "Good evening, Clarice," like kind of similar to, but it's not the same.
It's like how people go, "Luke, I'm your father." It's like people misremember it.
Right. I think it's no, I am your father. He doesn't even say Luke.
But yeah, everything was pretty iconic, man, in this movie.
Oh yeah. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Cool. I think on that, guys, we found the end of the video. We're gonna enjoy the rest of this Chianti. We're going to get out of here. Hopefully the next episode that we do, we'll have Art back, and we're going to do our Misery podcast finally. I think Brandon hopefully had a good enough time that you want to come back and be on the show again?
Yeah,
bro.
For Misery?
Maybe not Misery, because we're going to have Art do that.
Oh, yeah.
But on something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe we could have four people in Misery if you can get the same day off.
It all depends, but
we'll figure it out. No, he's going to make another appearance.
Oh, yeah, we need to.
Cool. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe, baby.
Bye.